Okay, now we're live. Hello, welcome back to Doctor Who Commentaries, where I force Sam to watch classic Doctor Who.
Help me!
Tonight, after several delays, we're doing
Woo!
The Curse of Peladon. And we have Colin back as the guest.
Hello. With my TARDIS mug full of tea that's probably still too hot to drink. Good, actually.
I have a mug, but not as cool. It's the one where the TARDIS goes from the one side to the other.
Sam, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. Colin, are you ready?
Yep.
Alright. Well then, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync. And this will be the first time Sam's ever seen anything with John Pertwee.
Oh, I won't
Really?
drink from this mug because I only drink from it when new
Yeah,
doctors are here.
he hasn't seen John Pertwee or Davison yet.
I love that. That music, though.
Yeah, it doesn't sound quite right for an alien planet in like a medieval type era.
However, it does sound like a fun night at the discotheque.
Well, this was, what, 72, I think? I think. Oh, Sam, I should probably explain. The Doctor is currently in exile on Earth.
Ah,
Because Time Lord stuff.
oh yeah, those tools.
Well, this is weird. The audio on my computer is like linked to the audio from my DVD player, so it's...
Oh, it's one of those weird sort of ripple effect things.
I don't know, but it's when I turn the volume down on my video player, it's turning the volume down on my computer so I can hear the episode way over you guys.
Oh, that is weird.
I don't know why it's doing that.
And here we have one of Patrick Troughton's sons as the king.
I can't remember, is this the same one who was in Midnight, or was that his other son?
I'm not sure. I think it was. I
wanna
know
say it
that
was this-
because I know that Michael was the one that was in Last Christmas.
He was in Last Christmas?
Yeah, he was like the older guy on the base. That everyone.
Right. Alright, I remember him now.
Wait, was that the most recent Christmas episode?
Yeah.
Ah. The one with the tangerines?
Yeah, this is the son that was in Midnight.
I thought so.
Midnight was a decent episode.
I feel like David Troughton was in another episode too, though.
I know he was in War Games.
That's it.
For like a scene, and I think he might have been an Enemy of the World. I might just be crazy.
I don't remember him in there, but he could have been.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think he was like an extra or something for it.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the Enemy of the World.
And he's killed by a shadow.
Or giant teddy bear.
It does kind of look like a giant teddy bear, doesn't it?
I admit
Yeah,
it.
they were going for menacing, but I think it came out more adorable.
That isn't the first time this has happened with a Doctor Who villain.
That's true.
Just look at the Daleks. They're adorable. The little plunger arms.
Yeah, but what they lack in visual impact, they make up for in just sheer evilness.
Mm-hmm.
And the TARDIS materializes on a cliff. This can
I remember
only
this.
bring good things.
Huh?
The TARDIS materializing on a cliff can only bring good things.
Yeah. It at least gives a pretty nice, exciting opening though, which doesn't really happen all that often with Pertwee stories.
Yeah, this one, Inferno. And I think probably the opening to Terror of the Autons are probably the three most exciting Pertwee openings.
I'm trying to remember Terra the Autons. I
It's
haven't
the introduction to the Master, so it's like, oh, who's this?
Oh, right, yeah. I still haven't finished that. I got it on iTunes and I still haven't finished it, but I kind of have a problem with trying to finish Pertwee stories.
They get so long-winded, especially like after season 7. I've never
Yeah.
had a problem finishing the 3 7-parters in season 7.
Me neither. But I recently got The Mind of Evil, which is considered to be a great story, and I'm not a fan, personally.
Yeah, I liked it. You have to admit the recoloring on it was really nice.
Oh, it really is, but I'm
Considering episode 1 was all had to be hand painted.
yeah, so it is really impressive, but I'm about 4 episodes in, I think, and it's just kind of, I don't even know. It's not the best Pertwee.
I want one of these days to this is kind of cruel, but just the Doctor to open the doors after saying, "Oh, the atmosphere will be normal," but it isn't normal.
Yeah. um, this story is actually one of my favorite Pertwees, and one of the reasons for that is because it's easily Joe's best story.
It's definitely one of her best. I have the argument that Green Death is probably her best story.
Yeah, but I mean, this is one of the few where she actually does things that a normal, smart person would do, as opposed to her other stories where she doesn't really do a whole lot
She
to
wasn't.
help.
The thing is, she wasn't meant to be smart. Like they tried that with Liz, and they didn't like the way Liz was going, so they just wrote her out.
I loved Liz. She's my
I
favorite
know.
Pertwee well, except from Sarah, but
I don't
Um,
count Sarah Jane as a Pertwee companion because although it was one season, she didn't make as much of an impact in that season.
Wow, you guys are huge
Yeah.
nerds.
I
But
loved
anyway,
Sarah Jane.
Sam, I've gotta ask you. So, I mentioned that the Doctor's in exile on Earth. This is not Earth.
It's all a dream.
No.
Yeah, every once in a while with the Pertwee. Oh, here it comes.
Oh, this.
I completely forgot about him/her.
It's an it. It doesn't have a gender.
Oh, that's.
Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dead.
Okay, the original design wasn't supposed to have the cape.
Yeah,
They
I
thought
remember
it-
reading that.
That
They
helped.
put the cape on to make it less phallic.
Oh my god.
If it wasn't for the voice, this would be a really good character.
Yeah, but the design is just...
I am cringing so much.
I'm...
The costumes in this story are pretty,
Fabulous.
yeah. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by the walking phallus. There were several stories in the Pertwee era where the Time Lords just randomly sent him on missions to other planets. So
This
This
is
was
like
one of them.
one of those... It happened... one, two... This one... 3 times before he... Yeah, it happened 3 times.
before this story?
No, just in general.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
counting Time Monster because that Time Monster is a special case because that primarily takes place on Earth, but then switches in the last like what is
Hmm.
it, 2 episodes I think.
Yeah, no, because there was Colony in Space, which was the first one,
Yeah. Then
and
there's
then
this.
this, and then there's the Mutants,
Yeah.
and Frontier in Space, but wasn't that after his
Yeah.
exile was lifted?
After 3 Doctors, he's got his TARDIS back.
Right, okay, so yeah, there were 3 stories. And of the 3, this is easily the best.
Yeah. Colony in Space is kind of
Okay,
boring,
it's boring, but eh.
and then Mutants also really boring.
I actually don't hate the Mutants. I don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember liking it up until the very end. The ending is so stupid,
Yeah.
with Kai just like basically turning into a god.
Yeah. It just. Yeah. It doesn't work.
Another thing I really like about this story, though, and I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, is that it's done a lot better than the Robots of Death, because it keeps you guessing until the very end. It's a really good
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah. I'll agree with you on that because the Robots of Death. You don't put, again, I've said this before, you do not put your villain in the title if you want to do a murder mystery.
Yeah. Luckily, though, the who did it is not in the title, so.
Yeah. I love the way Alpha Centauri just sort of hobbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is
I,
that?
I really like the design of this delegate, though.
Yeah, I think it's called Arcturus.
Arcturus, yeah.
Of all the heads in jars, I think this is probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Only in Doctor Who can you say that. Of all of the heads in jars, this one is the best.
They do it quite often.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, it was the first one I can think of was in The Keys of Marinus, where in episode 2 there's all the brains in the tanks.
I want to get more. I was like, when I first saw that, I'm like, I want more of an explanation on what this is.
Yeah. I really like The Keys of Marinus.
I do. I like. It's like Terry Nation can write 2 stories: the Daleks and a chase style story, where you do
A different
an
episode
overarching
every.
plot divided into 6 different episodes, and it works.
Yeah. This was also one of the few classic stories to actually get a sequel in Pertwee's last season with the Monster of Peladon.
Which is.
I don't think it's quite as bad as everyone says, but everything that's really great about it was taken directly out of this story.
Yeah, so it's like, I get you're ripping off yourself, except, well, the villains weren't ripped out of this story, technically.
Yeah. It was just a.
It's just kind of long.
Yeah, and the minor subplot in that story is kind of superfluous.
Yeah. Well, it was both these stories. Both of the Peladon stories are social commentaries of issues at the time.
Oh yeah.
This one's, if I remember, is England entering the UK, the EU, I mean.
Yeah.
And then Peladon is the minor strikes that kind of plagued 70s Doctor Who. Like, a strike was the reason Shada didn't, finish.
Yeah.
Yes, our god teddy bear thing is striking down people.
Yeah, these people worship a teddy bear. That's kind of.
Now that's a religion I can get behind. All hail Teddy Ruxpin!
Teddy Ruxpin is creepy.
Speaker of the truth!
Okay, I will be back in like 2 minutes. I need to go do something really quick.
Yeah, see you in 2 minutes.
All hail Teddy Ruxpin, speaker of the truth.
Hey, the Doctor and Joe in caves.
Caves. Caves. Cave. What? Doctor playing Eeny Meeny Miny Moe, choose which one to go for.
Meanie? Yes, we'll go that way.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, it isn't the way that the evil teddy bear is roaring.
I, for one, embrace our evil I, for one, welcome our evil teddy bear overlords.
All hail the teddy bear.
Teddy Ruxpin, speaker of truth.
Oh my gosh, the obvious secret passageway is obvious.
Obviously.
Look at that! You recognize that, Sam? Sam.
It's an Iceman
Ice Warrior, yeah.
warrior. Is it going to the meeting?
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's gonna be like, how did these cards all get upside down? It's gonna be like the meeting from Wreck-It Ralph, where all the villains are in a support group.
Well, they're the only real villains.
Hey, look, more phallus-shaped green characters.
The Ice Lord is not phallic-shaped. Just Alpha Centauri.
Wait, is that his name, or is he from Alpha Centauri?
Both. And it's not a he, it's an it. Get your pronouns right, Sam.
Okay, it... It looks like a green army man my dog chewed on.
Oh, don't talk to me about Green Army Men in Doctor Who.
Why, Jacob? Oh, yeah.
Delta and the Bannermen.
Okay.
Oh.
Legend.
Oh look, a stranger!
Could you stop breathing so loud?
Oh look, they think he's the missing delegate from Earth.
Wait, would a delegate of Earth even come?
Yeah, because galactic federations and things.
What? Wait, Earth isn't a galactic federation? What? That thing's just horrifying. Nightmare fuel. Hey, Colin.
Alright, I'm back.
You're back.
Yep. I have to leave again in 45 minutes just to take foil off.
His credentials.
That's happy.
I love Joe's face. It's just like, oh, we're dead. I am not royal.
I love this, what he says here.
Yeah.
How he introduces himself. Or did he already do that?
I do not deal in secret. Kindly present this to our royal host.
No, I think this is the presenting scene. Of TARDIS.
Princess Josephine of TARDIS.
That's...
Wait, was it this story when he introduces himself as Sir Doctor of TARDIS, or what story was that?
That wasn't this. No, that was Tooth and Claw, I think, where he was knighted as Sir Doctor of TARDIS.
Yes, that was it. Okay.
He also uses Jamie's name as an alias.
Does he really?
Yes, and he uses his... It's the one time they allowed Tennant to use his real Scottish accent.
Oh, right, and the Ice Warriors, which are so much more green in color than we all expected, I think.
Yeah. Even, especially considering when most people would have seen this, they would have already read the novelization of the Ice Warriors or seen the Ice Warriors story. You'd think it wouldn't be this green.
You know.
It's easy being green. Yes, the success of our mission.
I
think
want to
it's
know,
a really
how
nice
does
touch
Alpha
that-
speak? He doesn't have a mouth. Or an oral cavity of any kind.
Good question.
It's a really nice touch, though, that it can blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look! It's a meeting of the U.S. Congress. Just a bunch of shouting idiots.
You've been waiting the whole time to make this joke, haven't you, Jacob?
I have.
I like how all the aliens speak English.
It's the TARDIS translation circuit, Sam.
I know.
Although I don't think that was really established until the new series.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was mentioned very, very briefly in Mask of Mandragora.
Was it really?
Yeah, Sarah asked something like, shouldn't they be speaking Italian? And the doctor's like, oh, the TARDIS does that. Don't worry, let's move along. I have horses to ride.
I really need to watch that story again. It's really good.
The villain looks like Elf from Elf.
Alf from
Yeah.
Alf. So
Yeah.
now that we're through part 1, Sam, what would you rate part 1?
6 green phalluses out of 10.
6 out of 10? To Colin.
Yeah, this episode, I'd actually go 8 or 9. I think it really sets up the mystery pretty well.
I'll give it an 8, and then I'll just be in the middle and give it a 7. So shall we move on to part 2?
Yeah.
Just give us
We shall.
5 seconds. Alright. Also, the Doctor kind of comes across as racist in this story.
Because of what?
The whole Ice Warrior thing, he's like, it
Oh.
must be them, they're the Ice Warriors.
Well, he's not really wrong in saying that, though. I mean, when you look at his previous encounters with the Ice Warriors, he's pretty right not to trust them. I mean, they've tried to take over Earth twice before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's not like the Talons of Wang Chiang, which is just super culturally insensitive.
I feel Talons of Wang Chiang is trying to be historically accurate in places.
I guess
with,
that's...
Sam, are you ready with part 2?
Yeah. I've been ready. My body's ready.
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Yeah, see. I guess I can kind of see that, but also in the Talons of Wang Chiang, you have Leela, who's never been to Earth, referring to them as the Yellow Ones, which was really kind of.
Yeah, that strikes me as odd. Like, I mean, I can see her saying it if, like, but I never quite understood why Asians were yellow, because all the Asians that I met don't look very yellow.
Yeah. However, there's also the really questionable aspect of a British person playing an Asian, which was a little bit.
Oh, Doctor Who.
That was an interesting line.
It had to be Agador, because Agador's a teddy bear and probably couldn't really, push a granite statue over.
So far, this episode has an evil giant teddy bear, a green dick with an eye, and a head in a jar. It's going pretty good, I'd say.
And the Ice Warriors.
And the Ice Warriors, which kind of are a bit phallic shaped.
I love how religions can get very vague on how their comings are supposed to be.
Yeah, no, he's like, there's gonna be all this terrible stuff, and you're like, so far there's a walking phallus, a teddy bear, and a head in a jar.
And a statue falling over.
Yeah.
I've seen worse in my day-to-day life.
Pretty much. I mean, granted, it's kind of a strange meeting, but...
I think Arcturus is supposed to be solar-powered, hence the weird tinfoily disc on the back.
I thought it was trying to hide.
I guess that would make sense, except for the fact that he's not really in the sun right now.
I know. Maybe light-powered.
Like,
Either that or it's just making him look even fancier than he is.
it's just for the aesthetic.
So my question is everyone from Arcturus's planet like that, or is he just like Davros, who's just been destroyed, basically?
I think Arcturus... I don't know if it's... I think it might... I've read somewhere, I think it might have... And I think the source was from the novelization that Arcturus was a planet of a lot like water. So it's like adapted to live in the water somehow.
I see.
And like the thing is like how they get out. So like, oh, I need to go on land. It's like fish out of water or something.
Oh, yeah.
Guess that would make sense. Look at Joe being smart.
I love how they're like, oh, Doctor, we'll give you all the power. Although you have not presented credentials because they've fallen in a crash. That, okay,
It's like-
we have no reason not to believe you.
It's like in Time Heist when he just starts giving them orders and they're like, "Who put you in charge?" And the best line Peter Capaldi's ever said, basically, it's the eyebrows.
It is the eyebrows.
It is. It really is. I'd be suspicious too if I were them.
Yeah, it's like,
And I know exactly who I'd be suspecting.
it's like, yeah, the strange travelers who have no credentials.
Granted, it was King Peladon who was like, "Yeah, we don't have time for that."
No time for that. We need to move the story along. We've got 4 episodes.
Also, are these all the people in the Galactic Federation? Because if so, the Galactic Federation is pretty small, isn't it?
It is.
Like, I understand that
mean-
it's probably for budgetary reasons, but
I mean, but they could have explained it away that Earth has grown into such an empire that all of Earth's colonies is represented by Earth.
Wait, what time period does this take place in? Like,
I don't know, sometime far future,
ah,
but Peladon's a developing planet, so...
that's just vague enough to work.
you know it's a developing planet if their god is a teddy bear.
Yes.
Every day, all I see is a walking palace. It gets quite dull after a while.
And despite my camp outfit, I am not gay.
Surprisingly. What? Okay, wait. What is
Yeah,
with all those
huge
rings on Joe's fingers? Was she wearing those like?
Actually, yeah, rings. Why are you...
Was
I
she wearing
mean-
those when she got here?
I mean, because when she got here, she was supposed to be going on a date with Mike Yates.
Oh, right, she was.
She's like, oh, I have a date later with Mike.
Right. Maybe it's just if the date went wrong, she could just punch him in the jaw.
Yeah. And knowing Mike's track record...
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Dear Lord Ted.
Lord Ted.
Haven't even seen that movie.
Teddy Ruxpin is life. Teddy Ruxpin is love.
So you think he might be the villain because he's taking part in these weird ceremonies?
Yeah, and he's speaking in a loud, shouty voice, and the music is going all minor.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
That's a pretty over-the-top character. It's a bit like Lady Painford in Silver Nemesis.
Oh, Lady Painfort and Silver Nemesis.
I just rewatched that story today, and I think my favorite moment from Doctor Who ever is when she's talking to the one Southern lady in the limo, and the lady's just making conversation, and Lady Painfort just turns to her and says, all things will soon be mine. Such a perfect moment.
What I love about Silver Nemesis is that the writer was told to do some stuff, like, he's like, okay, he was told by J&T and Andrew Cartmel that we're trying to make the Doctor sort of mysterious again. Think like he's an ancient god of his planet. And you took that literally to mean the Doctor is God.
Well, the way I understood it was when he went in for the meeting to write that story, he had no idea what he was going to write. So he apparently just ripped off Remembrance of the Daleks.
He pretty much did. And Remembrance is far superior in every
Yeah.
way.
I would hate Silver Nemesis a lot more if it wasn't so entertaining.
Yeah, it's just funny to watch.
Yeah, it's just because of Lady Painfort, and there's actually some genuinely good moments. The Cybermen are kind of pansies, though.
Yeah, every Cyberman appearance after Earth, well, after 5 Doctors was not their best.
I actually really like Attack of the Cybermen, though.
I do, but like, it's kind of low budget in places, especially on Telos. And like, they get the guy back that played the original Cyber Controller, but he wasn't the guy that voiced the original Cyber Controller, so
He's certainly a bit pudgier in Attack.
he is. Also, I love how the Doctor can just have a wide range of emotions towards Joe, just in all of Joe's stories.
Yeah, like the first time he meets her, just...
It's like, oh, you ruined my experiment! And I don't want tea, so get out!
Yeah, but in this story, you see, he's being nice to her in this story because she's being smart.
And royal.
Yeah.
And then, but in the next story, he steals all her sandwiches and gives them to everyone else but her.
Oh.
What?
After saying there's no time to eat sandwiches.
But this is okay. I'm lost. What?
Sam, how are you lost?
It kind of baffles me that so many people love the Sea Devils so much when it is a blatant ripoff of the Silurians, written by the same person who wrote the Silurians.
With several of the same, with the Master added.
Yeah, of course. But he's really the only addition to the story. Other than that, it's pretty much exactly the same.
It is. So the Doctor saves Arcturus.
My pet teddy bear.
Yes. Plus, the teddy bear doesn't have opposable thumbs. Doesn't have opposable thumbs. It couldn't do that. Heck, the Ice Warriors couldn't do that. They don't have opposable thumbs. They have Lego hands.
Competent enough. But Centauri also doesn't have opposable. Come to think of it, the only person in this story with opposable thumbs is the Doctor.
And King Peladon. And
all the. Yeah, how do these people who can only do this? How have they started a whole galactic federation?
I don't know. I mean, I know that like they were originally more humanoid because there's like a Genesis Ice Warriors in Lords of the Red Planet. It was adapted audio, but this is how. Oh look, incriminating evidence.
I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I still hate the fact that most aliens in the Doctor Who universe are humanoid.
Well, in the classic series, it's more for budgetary concerns.
You know,
And there are a couple of times where there's a lot of potential for these aliens, especially when they're not humanoid. It just doesn't work, like the Zarbi.
Oh gosh.
I've seen some artwork of the Zarbi, like in the Prisoners of Time comic. I read like the first volume, and like the first chapter features the Zarbi, and they look more menacing because they aren't restrained by those really bad costumes.
Yeah. I don't know. One thing I really appreciate about this story, though, is that they tried to have a diverse cast with in terms of the different aliens that you see. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Yet this comes from the same guy that created the Celestial Toymaker.
Did he write that? Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen the existing episode. It's quite good, actually.
The existing episode's good. It
very
just,
seriously.
like, episode 2, people are like, oh, it's racist because it drops the N-bomb.
Does it really?
It does.
Wow.
Luckily, on the soundtrack, you won't be able to hear it because Peter Purves cleverly starts narrating over the line. to keep everything politically correct. So that's why people are like, oh, we really don't want that one to be found because,
Yeah, in Doctor Who Fan Audio Adventures, I was accused of racism because of including the character of Marie Laveau in one of my stories, who was
see,
an
but you're a
African
floating
American
head.
woman.
You can see everything that comes your way. See, the experts are like, oh, it must be the Doctor. He's the only one that really could have done it.
He's the only one with opposable thumbs.
Of course, the obvious flirting between Joe and King Peladon.
I was actually quite surprised by how well that romance actually works in this story.
Yeah, romances in Doctor Who aren't always, they don't always work.
10th Doctor and Rose. Sorry, that's the only reason I hate Series 2. Well, that and Love and Monsters.
Don't even mention it. I've been trying to forget about it, and oh my gosh, ugh. It hurts me. It physically hurts me to think of Love and Monsters.
It is. I'm just
And
waiting for the day when somebody
there's
requests me to
potential with
review
Love and
that.
Monsters. I mean, heck, the little kid that designed the monster had a good idea there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really bad writing.
Yeah, and bad production values. I'm just waiting for the day when that story is requested for me to review.
How does
And
one
then I'm gonna
request the story for you to review?
Huh?
How does somebody request for you to do a story?
They type which story they comment which story they want me to review on my latest review.
Okay.
I state at the end of all my videos, just request which review you want me to do next.
Yeah, I have a specific schedule of reviews that I'm doing.
I was just going through it chronologically, and then I was like, you know what, screw it, I don't want to do this, I just want people to request reviews, because
that's fun.
yeah, because there's like so many stories that I really want to review that if I did it chronologically, I wouldn't get to for like years. Like if I was
Yeah,
still
that's
doing it chronologically, I would probably still be doing like Peter Davison by 2017. Oh my gosh. This light thing in the Monster of Peladon is done so many times that you want to shoot yourself by the last time they do it.
Teddy bear, roar!
Right.
Oh my gosh. It's the teddy bear.
Come on, Teddy Ruxpin's not that scary. He just wants to read you some bedtime stories. What's his name?
Grun.
Grun. And doesn't he like have his tongue cut out for some reason or other?
Well, that's the reason I can think of for him being mute. I don't know.
Like, he's mute, but there's no real purpose to it.
Diversity? More diversity.
Just punch them with that ring hand. That'll
Yeah,
knock
you
them off
have
for
like
2 hours.
rings on your hand, Joe. Use them.
She essentially has brass
Okay.
knuckles. She's ready for war.
That'd be cool to have a companion with brass knuckles.
Right? I'm surprised Ace didn't have them.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. I mean,
How is he supposed to use that gun?
well, he can move like this, so he might be able to pull the trigger if he, like, let's say this is the trigger, he could like pull it like this, kind of.
That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, you think if they have hands like this, that it would be they would try to.
Yeah, at least with Cold War's redesign, they gave them 3 fingers.
Yeah. Is that a typewriter in the background? How do they use that?
That looks kind of like it. Is that a typewriter?
I think it might be. Seriously, King the planet of Peladon is not very friendly to beings with non-opposable thumbs. If I were them, I wouldn't admit them into the Galactic Federation.
Well, opposable thumbs are really the only reason that why we're dominant species.
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
What I do love about the Ice Warriors is they never, like, or at least in this story, they're told they never lie and they have such a code of honor.
Yeah.
Arcturus lives off helium. That's why he's in the glass dome thingy.
Oh, okay.
Which, although that's scientifically, I think that's impossible because helium is so light it just lifts, hence helium balloons.
That must mean he's high as a kite all the time.
I think maybe Alpha Centauri has been tapping into his helium supply.
That would explain the voice.
It really would. It doesn't explain the appearance, though.
Well, I don't think anything could explain the appearance.
As phallic as that is, though, nothing comes close to Irato in The Creature from the Pit.
Oh, creature from the pit, your day will come. And Sam will... Oh, and Sam will have at least 3 balls with you.
You're making me want to look it up, but I won't.
Yeah, don't look it up, Sam.
No,
It's...
'cause the surprise will be ruined for you. But the weirdest thing, though, is that its appearance changes every, episode.
Yeah, like, I've noticed that it's, kind of smaller than bigger.
Yeah, well, but they take away the appendage
Okay.
after episode 2, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3, because then they put on that weird, translator thingy.
That's at the beginning of episode 4.
Okay.
I want to watch that episode now.
It's actually really good, surprisingly.
It is. But they're just... Here we have Teddy Bear of Death. Sacrilege! Seize him!
Don't you dare touch the statue of my teddy bear.
I'm betting that this is all Doctor Who fans with their action figures.
I mean,
Sacrilege.
anybody with their action figures, basically.
Alright. Imagine, do you know who Batman March is, Colin?
Yes. I've either watched some of their videos or they've commented on mine. I can't remember which, though.
I do not know who that is.
He's the guy that does the action figure adventures. Or at least the most famous ones.
Okay, I was gonna say, because Cyber Leader 1010 also does those.
Yeah.
But, no, I haven't seen those, though.
They're really good, but, he has, them all in, a case.
Oh, really?
The doctor's like, you're dead. You're dead, dear. I've never liked when cliffhangers end on, a reaction shot. It doesn't work very well.
I know. Oh, I'm trying to... Which one was it that was just the most perfect... I'm trying to remember which story that was. But... I think it was with the companion, and Oh, it was the Horns of Naimon what's his face? Saldeed comes in and he's like, and he just tells the doctor he's gonna die, and you see the doctor, and he's just like, for
It's
a
like-
good 5 seconds.
Anyway, now that we're done with part 2, Sam, what would you rate part 2?
It was alright. I'll give it a 6 teddy bear monsters out of 10.
Okay. Colin, how about you?
I'm gonna stick with 9 for that one, actually.
Okay, 9. I'm gonna give it an 8. That is good. Anyway, moving on to part 3. Also, like some of the Trial of a Time Lord cliffhangers are like that. Like Mind Warp 8, Mind Warp Part 4, like has, like they should have cut it after the Valiard's line. You're the one that killed Perry through your reckless actions.
Yeah, I love that story. I don't care what the ending of Trial of the Time Lord said. Perry died.
She did. Big Finish rectified it so that she died. It's even worse now that she died. She got split into like 5 or 6 different people.
Oh my gosh.
Like the Time Lords kept screwing with time so much. Like there's a version of Perry that died, the Warrior Queen version, the Worrier Queen version where she is left on Earth after Planet of Fire, in much like a Jamie situation with her memory wiped, and she became a reality show host. And there's like one more version that I actually got back together with the Doctor. Like much later in Colin's life.
I personally like the ending of Mind Warp best because it was one of the most.
It gives you the best of. It gives you like the best of all worlds. So it's like I'm happy they acknowledge that she died. Anyway, Sam, ready to start part 3?
Yes, I am.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
I don't think they had one single picture of the Doctor in the titles. It was not absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, like you could have chosen any headshot of John Pertwee. You choose that one.
Yeah, and then Sylvester McCoy's doesn't even look like him, and the wink is just wrong.
The thing about McCoy is they painted his face silver for some reason.
Flashbacks.
Is it Peladon or Peladon? Can you please make up your mind, story?
Yeah, that's right. They don't keep a name like the same way throughout.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with Gallifrey, and like when Tom was the Doctor, he started calling it Gallifrey.
Yeah, but it sounded like a mix of the two. Gallifrey.
Gallifrey. Wait.
At least I love how the experts are like, we'll stick up for this guy because ignorance of the law.
We'll stick up for this guy even though we think he's the murderer.
But I mean,
Spooky, scary.
a king can.
And here's where the romance actually comes in handy.
Still a better love story than Twilight.
Almost everything is a better love story than Twilight.
No, not almost. Everything's a better love story than Twilight.
Oh, wait. Except for... No, never mind.
Except for Lemon
Except for Ten and Rose, and then I was like, even that slightly better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least Rose wasn't. Oh, they're doing trial by combat.
Rose was just so dull. Ugh.
To quote the wife in Space blog, this story is like Game of Thrones, but with less incest.
Pretty much.
Jacob,
Yeah.
do you have time after this live stream to do another one on my channel?
No, because I have to go to. I'm volunteering at Vacation Bible School this week, so I can get all my service hours done. And I kind of need to go to bed at a semi-decent time.
I just go to bed whenever I want, because who needs...
Yeah, well, I don't want to have to work... I don't like doing service hours during the school year, because, Colin, our school is weird. We have to do 25 hours a year. And just getting them done is... You don't want to leave until the last minute, because then you're scrambling.
Yeah.
See, since the Arizona school system is pretty much the worst in the country, we don't really, like, I think until senior year, we aren't required to do service hours.
We both go to a private school, so it's sort of, you have to...
Really private school. Twirling mustaches, top hats, monocles.
I don't want to go to a school like that.
If I would never have went to the school, I would never have met Jacob, and I would not be here right now doing Doctor Who live streams. That's for sure.
Not really, when you think about it. He is the king. I mean, he could have just said, "All right, you're free to go."
He could have, yeah.
I mean, he pardoned him without credentials.
Yeah. Don't hate me. Although you're not helpless. You could fix this problem.
Okay, the thing that really bothers me about his costume is the fact that he's pretty much not wearing pants. He's just wearing really tall leggings and a dress.
Put some pants on, Troughton. I know your father was a scruffy drunk, but you don't have to be. You're supposed to be a king here.
It's such a...
I don't care if they're black pants, just put on pants!
She's like, "I'd stay if you would put on some pants for once."
He wears the pants.
Hey, if the relationship ever blossomed, he wouldn't be the one that wears the pants in the relationship.
I just made a joke about pants in a relationship.
What, have you never done that before? Gone on a murder spree, then proposed to just some random chick?
I've done it a couple of times, actually. Like, like, at least 5 times.
At least!
At least! Anger. Sam is angry. Sam smash. Boom.
I will be back in about 3 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, so he's supposed to be prisoner, but they leave his room open for him to escape.
Brilliant.
And then tell him that they're going to leave it open for him to escape.
Brilliant.
And then he doesn't escape.
Top notch. Great job, guys. You're really thinking with your heads. Man, Alpha Centauri is thinking with his head, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a penis joke. Hey, I'm gonna go get a snack, but I'll still be watching the episode.
Okay.
Never mind, not quite yet.
Not quite yet. Sam has to go get a snack.
Oh,
He's
I
gonna
see.
keep watching.
Yeah, no, I have to go take off foil in like 5 minutes.
Well, you gotta eat somehow.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I saw your video on responding to that review of the audio drama you wrote.
Yeah.
I've actually started listening to Wesley's audios. I just haven't had time to finish them because Big Finish started running a big main range sale, and I kind of splurged a bit.
Yeah, no, they're a lot better than I thought they would be, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I wrote the last 2 episodes of this season, and he actually posted a comment on the Christmas special saying that he was basically retracting his statement about the allegations of racism because he looked into it and saw that she was an actual person.
Yeah. See, that's why you... And plus, ironically, voodoo is an interesting religion on itself. It's sort of a mix of, like, sort of indigenous cultures plus Christianity. Like, I went to the Field Museum in Chicago about 6 months ago, and they were doing, like, an exhibit on voodoo, and it was a really interesting topic.
Yeah, no, I went to New Orleans last summer, and that was basically where I did...
Research.
Where I basically got the inspiration to write a ghost story in New Orleans, because I was like, how has this not been done in Doctor Who yet?
It was supposed to happen, like, if you know about the proposed TV series after the TV movie, like, they were going to remake, I think, Terror of the Zygons put it in New Orleans, and be like a ghost attacking an oil rig.
Please.
That would have been interesting, except for the fact that New Orleans floods
watching, and he's like
easily.
only 10.
The thing about Zygons is, it only works if it's in Loch Ness.
Yeah.
The point is that it's the Loch Ness Monster.
I'm actually not as big a fan of Terror of the Zygons as most people are. Like, I really like it, but the ending is just kind of lackluster, in a way.
Yeah. It's got great ideas, and of course the direction is brilliant. I will always sing the praises of Douglas Camfield.
Yeah, well, I don't really have any sort of knowledge of direction or anything, so I just say, yeah, it looks cool, or no, it looked crap.
There's sometimes, like, I don't have the best, but I always can tell if it's something by Camfield because he has a very particular style. He shoots a lot of his stuff like either action or horror. Like, he's the guy that did Web of Fear, and got Doctor Who in trouble for, because you know how Web of Fear went, they thought the London Underground...
They thought they actually filmed in the London Underground.
Yeah, that's just... And then there's, I'll always recognize Peter Moffat, because he's a terrible director, because, like, he doesn't know how to go, when to go to close-ups and when not to. Like, he did The Five Doctors, he did Twin Dilemma.
Oh gosh, the Twin Dilemma. Alright, now I actually have to go, so I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yes, he trusts the Ice Warriors, who the doctors say are evil.
One note I realized while watching Upstairs.
Yeah?
Alpha Centauri is pretty veiny.
Pretty what?
Veiny, like it has a lot of veins. So yeah, that doesn't help.
He's the one that voted to stay.
Ooh.
This is the honor of the Ice Warriors. Oh look, someone's listening in. Guess who it is?
Medusa's head.
Yes. It does. He does kind of look like Medusa, doesn't it?
The head of the Gordian. Uh-huh. The frozen head of Walt Disney. Okay, that's actually gonna be a villain. I'm thinking of making a series based on, like, Disney being this corporation that wants to destroy the world. Walt Disney's head is going to be on a Mac.
Huh. Oh, look, a secret passage behind a curtain.
Mickey Mouse is like this huge evil villain. It's going to be hilarious. Mickey Mouse will bring upon us the apocalypse.
Alright, I have to leave one more time
I
in
love how
15 minutes.
they stick the doctor in a room. They say, "We're not putting a guard on the door." Right to his face.
You're gonna be here for about 12 hours, but we'll trust you not to escape.
Yeah, because we...
The UN.
And also, there's a secret passage for you to escape down right into where the evil teddy bear lives. And here we get John Pertwee's rendition of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
Every time they do this torch thing to open the door, I have flashbacks to the monster of Peladon.
Wouldn't that be a flash forward? Because that hasn't happened yet.
Fair enough, but, I mean, since I've already seen it.
Since you've already seen it. Yeah, Monster has the problem of it's too long.
It is.
It's 2 episodes too long.
And the only things that are really good about it were taken from this story.
And, of course, Sarah Jane's subplot is actually kind of nice.
And just Elizabeth Sladen.
Happening right here.
They made a rug out of their god?
What?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, what is that? I think that's supposed to be like a bed sheet.
Yeah, but I'm wondering what it's made from.
Maybe...
Made of pure God.
It wouldn't be made out of their teddy bear god. That would just be sacrilege.
Maybe it was made out of their teddy bear god's brother.
It'd be pretty soft. The touch,
This is
the
why we don't have teddy
fabric
bear
of our
god's
love.
brothers. They are not allowed in our religion.
It's like they keep on getting new gods because they keep on killing them and making them into everyday objects.
Well, supply and demand, Sam.
The god stock market.
And here we have Venusian Lullaby, aka God Rest You Merry Gentlemen.
Good night, God. Good night.
He seems remarkably calm for talking to somebody who could, for doing this to something that can impale him in a moment's notice.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm watching us right now. Inception. Wait, I want to get to the part
Inception.
where I hold up myself. Wait, is that coming up?
When he says Venusian, he means he went to Venus when it was populated. So apparently, in the Doctor Who universe, Venus had a population at one point.
That would be pretty incredible for anyone to live on Venus.
Wow, glad.
Well, they didn't have to be. They wouldn't have to be carbon-based. They could probably be another sort of life form.
And there's Jo slipping back into her stupid old self.
Well, I think that's more of she's acting on an impulse that, oh my gosh, there's the thing that's been killing everybody, and it might be attacking the Doctor. Impulse kicks in. Don't worry, Doctor, I'll save you.
Yeah, I don't know. See, it's kind of odd because I love Jo in this story, but it's kind of a flaw because she's super out of character.
I wonder if this story was meant to be written for Liz.
Possibly.
I mean,
Is this-
Brian Hales didn't write anything for season 7 or 8, so...
That's very possible. I mean, Liz is, in my opinion, a much better companion who is super
Yeah.
underrated.
You know, some people don't count her as companion because she never traveled in the TARDIS.
I still count her as a companion.
The problem with counting people as companions is, who do you count as companion? I mean...
Seems they have escaped. Colin admitting his guilt.
I mean, like... I wish I didn't have to count that, you know, remember Adam Mitchell from Series 1?
Oh, yeah.
Him? Who no one remembers because he's probably the worst
character?
Yeah. He's probably the worst companion of Doctor Who's history just because there was no point. He didn't get a chance to develop at all into a nice person, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do that weird head thing.
See, I have the very controversial opinion of thinking that Rose is the worst companion of all time.
How dare you! Yeah, no, she's down there for me. I don't like Rose.
I hate her because she's just a terrible person.
Like, people are like, oh, Rose is like the perfect companion. So someone who ditches their boyfriend who is dazed and confused after being abducted by aliens.
How she treated Mickey was
Yeah,
so
and then
unbelievable.
gets all jealous when Mickey decides, screw you, Rose, I'm gonna get another girlfriend because I don't know if you're even coming back.
Because she's constantly trying to screw all these guys that she travels with, including the Doctor, including Jack, including Adam, while she still has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Gosh, I hate her.
At least Mickey never found out about Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, if Mickey found out about Adam, I think that would have sent him over the edge.
Yeah. Well, another thing is
crazy.
Mickey, like, this is why I hate the way she was written, is because she's the one who's clearly in the wrong. She gets jealous, and then Mickey feels bad about it.
It's like, ugh.
What? Ugh.
I don't like how they made Mickey hook up with Martha in the end of time.
Yeah, that was kind of pointless.
Because in Sontaran Stratagem, Martha had a fiance.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
Yeah, we don't know. Like, I only think that Mickey and Martha hooked up because they're the two black characters.
That, and because they wanted to shorten the amount of time where David Tennant goes back and visits all his previous
why do you
companions.
shorten? You already dragged this thing out long enough.
I know. That's another unpopular opinion I have, is that the end of time is crap.
It is.
I do not like it at all.
Again, you could have if you wanted to have a really long thing, you could have cut out the whole stuff with the Master resurrecting. You don't need to explain why the Master comes back. We will accept that he is back.
We didn't need that
He's
stupid
done.
fast food scene.
Yeah.
Where the Master's sitting there, like, eating ridiculously fast next to those two people.
And it's like,
And then pretty much ends up eating them.
and oh, of course, the cameo from President Obama.
What?
Well, he wasn't actually in it, though. He was...
Hence the air quotes. Like, it's a really bad double. With some voiceovers.
Wait, what?
Like,
When was that?
You remember the end of time? Oh, we're in the trial by combat scene, which is
Trial by Stone!
oh, and this is when we find out who's behind all of it.
I hold the very controversial opinion that David Tennant is my least favorite Doctor.
Is what?
That Tennant is my least favorite Doctor.
I agree.
Just because he kind of rips off the Fifth, but makes...
I think that he never really made an impact as the Doctor for me, except in stories like The Waters of Mars and Midnight, which are easily his best stories, where he was actually pushed over the edge, and to some extent in The Fires of Pompeii, except The Fires of Pompeii would be a terrific story if it wasn't for this stupid sci-fi plot.
Mm.
Yeah, no, The Fires of Pompeii was done as an audio drama with Sylvester McCoy and Mel,
Really?
and it's really good.
Is it, like, purely historical?
Oh, it's purely historical.
See, that's what would have been a lot better.
Like what happens is in his 5th incarnation, as Peter Davison, though not the Seven explains that that unit found the TARDIS during time flight in the Pompeii rubble.
Huh.
And called the Doctor up because they knew he was doing the time flight stuff and was like, "We found the TARDIS. Are you all right?"
Huh.
And like in Pompeii. So the Doctor like has been dreading the day that he would land in Pompeii the entire time, and he's with Mel of all people, who is probably the one companion that you really don't want to die because she's never done anything wrong ever. Oh look, we have Arcturus just plain up assassinating the Doctor, and like, and it's really good. It's called The Fires of Vulcan. Anyway.
I found the one thing that I really like about the Fires of Pompeii is there's this really, like, no one would ever know it unless you actually looked it up. But there's this really funny little Easter egg where the character of Lucius Petrus Dextrus, that actually means Lucius Stone Right Arm, which I thought was really funny.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that part 3 is done, Sam, score, go.
An 8. It was alright.
An 8? How about you, Colin?
I'm gonna stick with 9.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Because that's just that good. Shall we move on to part 4 and finish
Yes, we
this?
shall.
Alright, well, everybody...
Well, I have something to say about Fires of Pompeii. It's really weird because Peter Capaldi and
Karen Gillan?
yes, they were both in it.
Apparently that's going to be a plot line in Series 9, I've heard.
I really hope it's not.
I know.
Can't we just have...
Series 9 looks like it's going to be good, because, for 2 main reasons. One, we're getting almost all 2-parters, minus like 2 episodes that are going to be 1-parts. A Mark Gatiss episode and an episode by a woman called Sarah Dollard. And we're getting 2 scripts written by women. And every time a woman has been the single writer on a Doctor Who story, it's been a good story.
What about...
Minus Evolution of the Daleks, but that was because Russell T Davies interfered and...
Okay, I was like, what about that one? Helen Rayner is, in my opinion, not the greatest writer. Like, the Suntarn Stratagem in the Poison Sky is
It's okay, but the thing about Daleks in Manhattan, that really wasn't written by her. Like, she gave the main ideas and had a script, but Davies rewrote the hell out of it.
Don't get me started on Daleks in Manhattan.
That story is so bad.
What is it with New Who and pig slaves? It's weird.
I don't know. But the only...
Anyway, moving on to part 4, because we found out that Arcturus might just be the murderer because he's trying to kill the Doctor.
Perhaps.
Alright, ready, Sam?
Yeah.
5.
4.
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Yeah, the only thing good that came out of Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks was that really good jazz number.
Yeah, I like the jazz number. It sounds like an interesting piece to play.
I actually started to arrange it and kind of stopped. I don't know why, but yeah, no, if you listen to the version that's actually on the soundtrack, it's a lot better than the one you hear in the episode.
Actually, the woman that plays Tallulah in that story is Miranda Rayson, I think her name is. Like, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's Rayson or something. She's going to be a companion of the 6th Doctor in an upcoming audio drama.
Fascinating. Wonder if she'll be playing Tallulah. I hope not.
Well, she's going to be British. We know that much.
Oh.
She might be from the 1930s or 1940s. They haven't released the plot summary, except that the story that she's introduced in is involves Alan Turing. So,
one person who I'd really like to see again in Doctor Who is the character of Maisie from Mummy on the Orient Express.
yeah, she was interesting.
She was a really nice character.
Also, I want to see them go full out and bring back races that are more powerful than the Time Lords. because the Time Lords are like, Dave. I think this is more of Davy's fault for kind of making them like this, but the Time Lords are more like the gods of the universe.
Yeah.
When in the classic series they weren't. We had actual gods. They were called the Guardians.
Yeah, like in like the Deadly Assassin, and they were boring aristocratic twats.
Yeah.
Thank God's
You-
not dead yet.
And then in the Invasion of Time, they were even more boring and
Boring
aristocratic.
aristocratic. And then in Arc of
I
Infinity,
really hate the Invasion of Time.
I like the first 4 parts, but then part 5 hits.
I can't stand it. I can't stand any of it.
Like with part 4, you think, "Oh my gosh, it's ending! Wow, that was quick. That's a wrap up. Oh gosh, we have 2 more parts to go."
Yeah. And then the sun turn. Oh gosh. Then it's just a run around in the TARDIS.
In the youth club that is masquerading that the TARDIS is being masqueraded as.
All right, I promise this is the last time I'm leaving, and then I'll be back.
Okay. So Arcturus wanted to start a war.
You want to know what we should do?
What?
Co-write an episode of Love and Monsters, like all of us, including Colin.
Write like a better version of the script?
Well, we should do that, but we also should like do a review of Love and Monsters.
That might work.
Or a whole series about how Love and Monsters could be better, and us actually rewriting the whole script.
Just rewriting the script.
We could also reenact some scenes. I can make a prop that looks like my head is on.
I'd have to do a lot of green screen work for that though, because I mean, not for us. Like we could probably meet up and film some stuff, but then we'd have to have Colin somehow, like in front of a green screen, because he lives in Arizona.
Yeah, you do. He does. Mm-hmm.
So Sam has an idea that we try to recreate Love and Monsters, but as a good story. So remember, Sam, at the beginning how the Earth delegate was late on arrival, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that they confused the Doctor as the Earth delegate, right?
Oh, I'm just... I know exactly
remember
what you're talking about now.
Oh, we're getting close. It's
That
gonna
is my-
be,
That is
good
my
one.
favorite scene in this entire story.
Yeah.
That was a bit conspicuous. Anyone walking by would notice that.
Well, what's actually his track record with people with peripheral vision?
That's
They probably-
really true.
It's like, they're right there. They are right there. The only time where it's kind of clever is in Space Museum when it's like, they're supposed to be in 2 different time zone thingies.
I haven't actually seen the space museum. It was also done well in the Ark in Space when they're hiding in the cryogenic things.
Yeah.
I think it was Harry I think it was Harry who. No, it was the Doctor who hid in one of them, and the Weirin walked by. Oh, see, they found it.
I found a rock.
I wonder what this could mean.
It's not just a boulder, it's a rock. The pioneers used to ride these things.
If it was Hepashir, we would probably saying it's the work of Agador.
It had to be Agador! Our teddy bear god is the reason everything's going wrong!
I wonder why.
Our Lord and Savior Elf. We should really do that Love and Monsters thing.
Huh?
That would be
Really do that.
interesting.
Doing what?
The thing with Love and Monsters, like we're writing it, making it better.
Well, I heard they're like still preparing for the war. Well, you know, it's like No, everything will be fine. We have found the culprit. We can get on with this conference. I think Sam went down for like 5 seconds.
Oh.
No, I'm still here. It just
Okay.
Did you see that? He didn't even react at all to that punch.
It's like, punch!
We need to get Joe in here with her brass knuckles.
Yeah. You know, for next companion on Doctor Who, I want someone from either the past or the future, so we can get some sort of different dynamic than
I know.
girl from present day Earth,
Well,
girl from present day Earth.
Yeah, like one of my favorite TARDIS crews was from Patrick Troughton Zero when he had Victoria, who was from the 1800s, and Jamie, who was from the 1700s. It was a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, especially considering, you know, they wrote them well, because...
Yeah. I mean, there's of course Victoria, who was not too great in her first stories, but Jamie was always awesome.
Those are always a little... First stories in Classic Who, especially in, like, black and white Classic Who, are always a bit rocky, because...
Yeah.
Cast changes could happen like a snap.
Yeah, to me, like, any story where something is, like, it's the first time they've done it, like, for a main character at least, it's usually not done particularly well. Like, I like Robot, but it's really not the greatest story in the world, and
it doesn't feel like... It feels like a John Pertwee story with Tom Baker.
It really does.
It also happens with the story Galaxy 4, like, the companions are Steven and Vicky, but, like, Steven becomes Barbara.
What?
Yeah, Steven plays the role of Barbara, because, like, the writer had already submitted the script, but didn't know that Jacqueline Hill and William Russell were leaving.
Wasn't
like,
like,
okay,
Galaxy 4 quite a while after that?
Lines, and give all the Doctor's lines to... No, give all Ian's lines to the Doctor.
Huh. Wait, was that the story right after the chase?
It went Chase, Time Meddler, then Galaxy 4.
Right. Okay.
He had already, sent it in before the Chase had even begun production. Like, in between production blocks, because what's weird is that the Season 1 production block leads up to Dalek Invasion of Earth, which is in the middle of Season 2. The Season 2 production block is from The Rescue until, I think, Mission to the Unknown, which is Season 3, and then the Season 3 production block leads just from the Mythmakers to the end of Season 3.
Huh. That's interesting. But yeah, I actually had that same problem with I had that same problem with Doctor Who Fan Audio Adventures because I wrote the Ancient Enemy before Tiff Brown, who played Elan, was before we knew that she was leaving. So I had to rewrite it to fit Jenny into the story, which was less challenging than I thought it would be.
That never works. If you have a certain character in mind, you can never rewrite stuff.
Yeah.
Alpha Centauri. Well, just look at it. It's even veiny. That's no. I cringe all the time.
So yeah, now that Arcturus is dead, we need a villain. So we'll just use the crazy Hepesh, whose teddy bear god is life.
I don't know. I think it looks more like elf than a teddy bear, but.
Sorry, I'm having my friend is talking to me about band next year, which is a bit like some issues that we're having.
Oh look! The delegates have turned into Congress again with more mindless arguing.
If I were that ice warrior in the background, I would probably just shoot her right now. he's holding a gun.
What are you doing, Cole?
Cake.
Oh, okay. I get cake now for some reason. Bye, Cole.
It's a lie.
This isn't even the right type of cake to do that joke, Cole. That was German chocolate. This is obviously red velvet.
What's even happening, Jacob?
My brother brought me down a piece of cake,
I'm super jelly.
and I'm testing it for poison. Doesn't taste poisony.
Maybe it's one of those poisons that take a while to set in, and you'll, like, die tomorrow. Or a week from now.
No, I think Cole would want to off me quickly. Then he could sell all my Doctor Who stuff and make a fortune.
Oh, no. My brother would make a fortune out of all my Lego stuff.
No, if you... Cole would probably make a fortune off the TARDIS alone, just because it's... You don't know this, Colin, but if you've seen my collection videos of my Doctor Who collection, it's in an actual TARDIS. I built a TARDIS, because...
I also have a TARDIS. Do you have a TARDIS, Colin?
I do not... Well, yes, I have a TARDIS. It's just, it's flatlined. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
the stupid
thing
phone
is, where I went to grade school in 8th grade, they make us do this art project where you have to build something, like, independently. And everyone was doing, like, oh, I'll do a chair, I'll do a jewelry box for a lot of the girls. It's like, I want to do something that I'll actually use. So I'm like, hey, we're building a TARDIS. Make this happen.
Wow. Yeah,
And
no,
I did, and it worked well.
Have
Like,
a TARDIS. I do have a TARDIS, but at the moment the boneless are leeching the external dimensions, so I can't use it.
Of course. Did you hear that Matheson's writing for Series 9 too?
Is he really?
Yeah, I think he's co-writing a story with someone else, but
yes.
It'll be good. And I think Moffat's only really writing the the opener and the finale, with a couple of co-writing credits here and there.
So it's a bit like he did in like Series 5 and 6, where he just kind of wrote the opener, the finale, and like one episode in between.
Which, I see that works better for Moffat because the stress of running a show must be big, because he has to edit all the scripts, and he has to come up with an opener and a finale.
Yeah. See, one thing that's really got me worried for this next season though is that he's stating that he's set up an enormous challenge for him with the finale, and with previous seasons like 6, 7, and 8, he's not been doing too well with fairly simple finales, and if he's saying it's going to be complicated, then we should be worried.
Well, I think I have faith that it won't be the worst thing ever. Because I mean, even when Moffat's bad, it's never gotten like the worst Doctor Who ever has gotten.
I think he's good at writing individual episodes, but he's really bad at doing overarching plots.
Yeah, like the only one that really was good was season 5, leading up to the Pandorica.
Yeah,
because he let it use more of the audience sees things that the Doctor doesn't for most of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, even though season 5 was handled really well, series he kind of ruined it with series 6 and 7 by making it all connected.
Yeah, which basically
Here comes a teddy bear.
See, Sam, it's a teddy bear. Funny thing is, the guy that's inside the Agador suit is the same guy inside the Alpha Centauri suit.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
How'd they work that out?
If you notice, Alpha Centauri does not move during this scene.
Huh.
And when it speaks, it's off screen. So, mauled by a teddy bear. See?
That's a pretty bad way to go. Tell me he's not dead, because you could clearly see him breathing. Okay, good.
No, he's dying.
Alright, good. I was like, if he's dead already and he's still breathing that heavily, then,
There's a problem here. You need a new actor, people. I know it's a bit late to get one, but... And he cries over his father figure.
the guy who's been behind all this and has been manipulating him,
Yeah.
and he's pretty much been the villain of this entire story.
Minus the bits with Arcturus.
That's
Who is
true,
dead.
but Arcturus was kind of working for him, wasn't he?
Pretty much.
Is purple like their
if this was done in the
global-
modern series, there would be music blaring right now to make you feel sad.
I know.
Whereas
World's
this just lets the
saddest
I kind
atmosphere.
of miss it, actually.
World's saddest violin. Well,
Now, see, there's the music. It's just not sad music, it's kind of bad music. Okay, is purple
Yeah, this is
like
not
the-
one of Simpson's better scores.
Huh?
This is not one of Dudley Simpson's better scores.
I am not really a fan of the music from the classic series, except for a few early ones here and there, like The Brain of Morbius has a really good soundtrack. But
City
then
of
when
Death has probably my favorite soundtrack.
Which one? Which one
City
was
of
that?
Death.
Ah,
City of Death,
um,
the one in Paris.
yeah, I remember I really like the scores from seasons 25 and 26, though. Those are probably my favorites.
Yeah, especially when it's done by Mark Ayers. He's the guy that did Ghostlight, and then I think he did others, but I'm not sure which.
I can't remember who did Remembrance of the Daleks, but here, I'll check really quick. It was Keth McCulloch.
I think
I'm
he
pronouncing that right.
did the music, but I think well, I don't really like Kef's music. I like Remembrance's score because it was mixed into the episode by Ayers, who always
Oh, really?
knows how to mix.
Ah. Yeah, no, but classic.
I love how wait, the Doctor was in Elizabeth I's coronation. So the day of the Doctor may have had just a secret John Pertwee off stage somewhere.
okay.
Hmm.
Sorting room.
Oh, and here comes Peladon in his glorious, totally not at all homoerotic costume.
Yeah. He eventually marries and has his daughter.
Does he really? Oh, wait, yeah. The Lyra.
Yeah, Monster of Peladon, the sequel.
With the super not very likable queen.
Good night, Mommy. My mommy lost her wedding ring. Oh. Oh, Mommy.
That line could have been delivered so much better.
Yeah. Another
Like
fact.
half the Disney
doesn't
princesses. I'm not even
matter.
a princess.
That's like an 8-year-old finally acknowledging the fact that she's not really a princess.
No, it's been obvious from the start that Jo's not a princess, because she introduced herself with sort of a royal accent, but then her accent changed, like, immediately afterwards.
Ooh, wow, one of the few kisses in classic Doctor Who. I'll call you later.
Or not, because We never see him again, ever.
But disappointing, really. I wish he returned for Monster.
He did return in an audio drama, though.
Ah.
Which I haven't listened to because I haven't gotten it because of Companion Chronicle.
For Doctor Who Fan Audio Adventures, we were going to do a Peladon story, but it ended up being scrapped.
Yeah, I could imagine. Peladon stories are hard to do on audio.
Well, both of them are pretty talky stories, though.
Yeah. I mean, Big Finish has done Peladon twice. Once
Really?
with the Fifth Doctor, and then the one with David Troughton returning. Oh look!
Oh.
Oh dear, we're screwed. Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, there's just so many stories that would be really good that just don't relent themselves well to audio.
I think Delta and the Bannerman would work a little better if it was on audio only.
I think Delta and the Bannerman would work if it was completely restructured, rewritten, and redirected.
Well, that too. And we didn't have the Spanish fish baby.
Oh my gosh, that was like my honest to God reaction when watching the cliffhanger of episode 1 was just.
No, this was me through the cliffhanger of episode 1 to like the end was like, green baby.
What?
These are magic.
What's happening? What?
Wait, have you not done Delta and the Bannerman yet?
Sam. Anyway, to the scoring of the final part of Curse of Peladon, and then the story as a whole, and then we will wrap this up. Sam, your score.
8. It was alright. 8 green space.
Of part 4. Oh, and your score of part 4.
Part 4, 9 again.
And then I'll give part 4 an 8. Sam, your score of the entire story as a whole.
As a whole?
Yes.
I'll give it a 9 as a whole. It was alright.
9 as a whole. How about you, Colin?
When I reviewed it, I gave it a 10, but now I think I drop it down to a 9.
Yeah, I could see that. And then I'll just give it an 8.5 to be even.
There.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and now it's time to pick the next story.
Oh joy.
Please be something good.
A lot of Palace jokes that. Please.
Alright, I got it.
Creature
If I can
from
open
the pit.
the thing. Oh dear.
What
The
is it?
Space Pirates.
That's
Oh dear.
doesn't sound good.
Okay, well I can't join you for that one. Too bad. No, I really can't. I don't have the audio, so.
Yeah, no, we found reconstructions of it. I can send you a link to them.
All right. Well, if I end up not being able to join you, Sam, I apologize in advance.
Yeah, this one will be one that we split up into 2 parts because all 6 parters we do anything above 4 parts we do in 2 parts just because I don't want to make these too long, like because we already do these long. But see you next time when we do my least favorite Robert Holmes script.
Wait, is it 6 parts?